like an Autobahn, I'm murdering everything. I'm a killer with the mission to flip it. I'm sick with the gift of the living. I've been itching to give it, the whip it, the wicked. I stick it with the quick and the digging in. Like I said it before, I'ma get up and go and get it because I'm missing my lick.
It's Leifon here, and welcome back to another podcast episode with the official Otaku Crew. So, a little weird episode today. I'm only going to be doing the introduction and the outro for today's episode. I will not be taking part in this episode. It will be actually a group of other panelists who will be discussing a very interesting topic. So, this is a special episode for you guys, you anime lovers, weebs all around. Also, as a reminder, check out the official Otaku Crew at the following social media handles. You got Anchor.fm, Spotify, as well as YouTube at the official Otaku Crew. So for today's podcast episode, we have Rec the Endeavor, Hammy the Fluffy, Sense the Erect, and T the Insomniac.
Wait till you see my erection.
Hey! No, don't. This is a family-oriented channel. I'll have you know.
You serious?
No, that's a total lie. That's a total lie.
Since when?
True. I lied. With that, I'll give the reins over to Hammy, and yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Good luck.
Thank you. All right. So today I'm actually really excited to be talking about this topic because it's really close to my heart. We're supposed to be talking about Otakuthon today. So there's a good chance that a lot of the people who are listening have been to an anime convention before, but if not, the whole deal is basically it's this huge gathering of people who love anime and video games most of the time, and just Japanese culture in general. And there's cosplay, there's like events, there's a huge merch hall, and Otakuthon is pretty much that, except it takes place in Montreal, Quebec. So it's a super cool opportunity for some of us to go who can't necessarily go to Toronto for Anime North. It was a really good experience for me this year. I know the rest of the panelists went as well. What did you guys do this year?
For me, I went to mostly panels. I spent a lot of time hanging with friends and got to see some old familiar faces from school and just be around the community. That was my Otakuthon.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best part too. Like I meet so many different people at Otakuthon every year and we end up getting along and just becoming friends or even just acquaintances. And it's just such a fun time. Like everybody there feels like your friend because everyone's there for the same reason. What panel did you see?
I saw a couple of panels. One I went to was the voiceover panel. That one was fun, where people were picked from the crowd through a raffle ticket. So basically you just put your hat, like your name in a hat. They pick your name, and then whoever they call up, you go up, and they give you like 3 different scenes from a various number of animes. Some are where you have 2 characters speaking at a time. One that is like just yourself talking, and then you sing a song. And then people who get called up have to do challenges against each other, and whoever does it better gets these points at the end of the round.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And the points are actually used to get rewards, right? If I can recall.
That's correct. Like there's a little table at the end of at the back of the room, has a variety of things from manga to DVDs to even I think I saw one of these like really expensive like keyboards for like a computer like in the back.
Yeah, I've seen some big ticket items there too before. Like I think it was last year they had a Nintendo Switch that could be won. So they definitely don't cheap out on prizes.
No, they do not.
I will say I went to a few panels, but in all my years of going to Otakuthon, I've never actually participated in one. I'm just too shy.
This would actually be my first year participating. I've been to Otakuthon for the last 10 years, and this is the first time I've ever actually said, you know what? Might as well give it a shot. Everyone seems to have fun, so why not try it out? And so I did, and I have no regrets.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty chill community too. Like, I don't think there's a lot of judgment in that space whatsoever, honestly.
The other part I enjoy about it every year too is like, because I know a lot of people who are like in the photography biz as well. So every when I see those guys there, I ask how they're doing. I have a chance to catch up with them. They show me a
Hmm.
lot of their work, and I get to see all these people who have created these phenomenal cosplays that take probably months just to prep. And I also get to just be around people I know. It's just a big community where there's creative people left and right. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, like I love cosplay so much. I will admit, even though I do it, I'm nowhere near as amazing as some of the other cosplays I see every year. Oh my gosh, some of them just blow me away. So, Tensa, you went too, right?
Yes, I did.
What exactly did you do? I remember you mentioning you got autographs at one point.
Yes. So that's kind of the only, like, aside from the shop area, I
Mhm.
went for the autograph session of both Toshio Furukawa,
Ooh.
the voice of both Piccolo Jr. from Dragon Ball
Mhm.
Z, and he's also Ace from One Piece. So remember, kids, the One Piece is real. And I also went for the autograph for Nobutoshi Kana. He's the voice actor of Kukulin, or otherwise known as Lancer from Fate Stay Night. He's also Noitora in Bleach, and all other characters. I unfortunately was a little bit late for the voice actor for Siegfried in Soul Calibur, Nobuyuki Hiyama. I
Aw,
was just
then.
late, and but otherwise, yeah, I went for those autographs,
That's
and
awesome.
not too different from Rec Endeavor. I've been there for about. Actually, I've been there longer. Actually, I've been there for at least 12 or 13 years for Otakuthon.
Wow, you're like a veteran.
Yes, I'm an old man now. Like my back is breaking.
My back. Oh, my back.
Look,
Actually,
I remember from my time that I got John Young's Bosch autograph the first time I came. So yes, it goes way back.
oh my goodness. That's actually super cool.
Yeah.
I've been going for a couple years myself. I think my first Otakuthon was when I was like 8, actually. I was really young and I had a great time.
Oh.
I mean, it's something I am happy I got to like go to since such a young age. It got me into cosplay and it made me feel like really accepted in like the anime community, you know?
Well, yeah, because think about it this way. In an era where people liking anime gets judged, this was a no judgment place. This, even in my time when I was your age, that's what I used to call my 3 days of happiness per year.
Yeah, totally understandable. Cause like nowadays it's pretty mainstream and cool. Like Demon Slayer and Naruto and Dragon Ball is everywhere. But there was a time where like kids would get clowned on for liking
Oh yes.
Inuyasha and like anime stuff.
Oh, I remember that too. Like there was a time where I had to even say, like, as a kid, oh yeah, I like Gundam, but I was afraid of admitting of liking Inuyasha at the time. I remember those times. That was
Oh
great.
yeah. Like I remember I got bullied so relentlessly for liking it in elementary school that in my entirety of high school I like hid it. But like
Yeah, like I understand the feeling. Like again, like, and the thing is that I don't even often talk about what opened the door to anime for me, because for a lot of people that are men, they've opened their doors to Dragon Ball or Naruto. What opened up for me was actually Sailor Moon.
I mean there's nothing wrong with that. Sailor Moon's super badass. So
I know, right? I know, right?
like don't let the judgmental people tell you Sailor Moon is not awesome because she is.
Look, the PSAs though of recycling.
Oh my goodness.
That's one of the reasons I recycle.
I mean, if it makes you do good in the world, then who cares where it came from, right?
Yes, the point is that certain things were just very influential from the beginning,
Hmm.
and then I'm still saying that, as corny as it sounded, it did influence me somewhat.
Well, yeah, and there's nothing corny about that, honestly. I mean, everyone's childhood stuff influences them, whether it be anime or something else. So
Yeah,
I don't think that's that strange, honestly.
yeah.
So, T, what do you have to say about Otakuthon?
So my first year, I didn't want to pay the entrance fee. Because broke people problems.
That's not my problem. It's yours.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Right.
So I was like, what's a way I can get in without having to pay but still enjoy the con? Volunteering. And so I applied to be a volunteer. I got in, and I haven't looked back ever since.
You're
There you
braver
go.
than I am. I had to use my vacation pay for this one.
I technically do take I technically do use I take vacation days off when I'm volunteering for Otakuthon, because I say volunteering because Otakuthon as a whole, it's a nonprofit. So
Hmm.
if even if you are staff, you're technically volunteering out of your own free will.
Yes.
And everyone works on it the entirety of the year, and we have people who are like who have actual proper full-time jobs. Like some of them are web developers. There was a couple nurses, doctors, engineers, and we're just a bunch of people who like anime, and I guess we're just so passionate about the con that we're willing to invest our time into it while also juggling work and real life
Real life,
problems.
yes.
Yeah.
Because obviously you just mentioned it yourself. It's a non-profit event. And in that sense, I'd understand that it's because of you guys that you make those things possible. Like, and thank you in advance.
Well, yeah, a big thank you from all of us and just anyone who attends Otakuthon, honestly. It wouldn't be possible without people like you giving their time.
It's a lot of running around behind the scenes. I don't know how we do it.
The f-
Yeah.
the fact that I do have some friends that did it before a few times, and yeah, it seems very stressful at times.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
I
I
I
can
do
imagine.
I do see them running left and right. I'm like, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I can imagine it's a lot of stress. I mean, it's a huge event. Like maybe in the beginning it wasn't as big, but now it's such like the scope has expanded exponentially.
Oh yeah, it started off
Mm.
as an anime club in Concordia back in 2006. Well, no, technically it was an anime club before that, and they had their first edition in 2006 at Concordia, and it was run by the Anime Club of Concordia. And then they just got so popular that they had to, I guess, like get more space, and eventually they ended up being able to they had enough money to be able
To
to
pull it off.
rent the Palais des Congrès, and it's just been there ever since.
Yeah, I even
Oh, okay.
remember.
But we've
I did not
realized
know that. Is it?
no,
Is
it
it?
used to be at Concordia when it first started, and then
Yeah.
Oh,
our
that's kind of cool.
capacity of people increased so much that they were like, well, we kind of need to
Expand.
increase. Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
even like in earlier years, like a little after then, but still earlier, they only used like one or two floors of the Palais des Congrès.
Yeah, we wouldn't
and
use
I
as many.
remember that. I remember that. Like back in 2011, I remember.
Yeah.
And now we use all the way to the 7th floor. I'm like, jeez.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
And we've realized it's not enough now. We're like,
yes,
if
we're
people have
like,
complaints, and we're like, we get it, but also,
that's the
again,
space we
we're a
have.
nonprofit. This is not a charity case, like we can't keep up with all the demands that people have. We're not Anime North. We don't have the scope for that. Like they have two
Mhm.
buildings. They have what the Sheraton and then the main building that they use, right? And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Right.
have that, Like Montreal doesn't have a big place like that where we can hold a con, other than the Palais des
Right.
Congrès, as far as I know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the biggest place, and for someone that knows downtown, I can guarantee you that's the only place. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it literally is the biggest venue, and even that is getting like packed to the brim. So it's
Yeah.
Oh yes,
gotten
like
huge.
I'm starting having trouble passing through.
Oh,
Like,
don't
it's
worry.
funny.
As staff, we have trouble passing through when we're rushing. It's crazy.
I can
It is
only
what it is.
imagine.
Yeah, I've even been to the Comic-Con in Ottawa and even like G-Anime, and compared to those places, like right here in Montreal, it's Palais de Congrès is like the only one that's like big enough.
Hey everyone, this episode is sponsored by Audible. If you're like me and you want to find yourself a pastime but don't have enough time in the day due to school, work, or commuting, let me present to you Audible. Now, many of you have heard about Audible, but I'm going to tell you a bit more about it. Audible is an American online audiobook and podcast service that lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment on one app, whether it be, for example, a few in my library are His Dark Materials, Percy Jackson, Aragon, Witcher, Lord of the Rings, and many more for you to discover. You can always find audio for books you have been wanting to read or podcasts you've been dying to listen to. You will also find all the Otaku Crew up-to-date episodes lists available on Audible. As an Audible member, you can also choose one title a month to keep from the entire catalog, which includes the latest bestsellers and new releases. If you follow our Audible link, www.audibletrial.com/officialotakucrew, you can start a free 30-day trial. So go to Audible now and start your free trial. Now return back to your scheduled episode.
We only have so much space for such a big event.
Mhm.
There's two things happening at a time. I remember not this year, but last year, the car show play at the same time as the mini Comic-Con.
Right. Yes, and it's also the fact that it's also expanding so much that technically I believe there is a winter Otakuthon as well, but it's really mostly the shops.
I thought that was called like mini Comic Con. I thought that was what Rec is talking about.
No, yeah, that's mini
It
Comic
it
Con.
it,
I don't
it,
think
it could I think it's mini Comic Con. It could be one or the other, but
Yeah, it's
because
mini Comic Con.
because I still have my friends from Fantasia talking to me about it. And
Yeah, it's like that's mini Comic Con, which around in December, it's just the shops and it's free entrance compared to regular Comic Con.
yes, it's that
Yeah,
one. It's that
it's mini Comic Con.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. And oh yeah, speaking of groups that expanded, are you aware if Fantasia is the exact same thing? That it would be a group that just expanded?
I wouldn't be surprised given that they're always in collaboration with Concordia. But I've never volunteered for them, so I don't know. But I'm sure if we do like a quick Google search, like it would explain. But I don't think Fantasia's non-profit though.
Oh no! Fantasia is profit. Is profit.
Yeah, it's for profit.
Because
Oh no,
because
it is
it's
non-profit.
oh never mind. Because I thought it was for
Just
profit.
gotta Google it real quick.
Fair
Huh.
enough. Because the funny part is that part of why I've only went for the autographs is because I went for Fantasia the entire week and a half. By the way, the Bake Monogatari movie is really great. You guys should see it.
Yeah, no, so Fantasia, it looks like it is a non-profit from what I'm looking on their website.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Then again, an international movie festival that we get the first screening, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But but back to Otakuthon. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
it's all good.
fine.
It's really the fact that now we're starting to suffocate because, again, you guys said it. No, it's cool and trendy.
You don't say!
And because of that, it's like I appreciate the fact that it's cool and trendy in a sense. But at the same time, it's like, well, that was my own thing, you know?
I think it's probably also because during COVID, a lot of people had so much free time that they got they
They
took new
sunk into it.
habits. Yeah, exactly. They
Mhm.
took new habits, and anime just happens to be one of them. Because I know, like the first year, Otakuthon had in person after COVID, they had beat their previous held record pre-COVID. I think it was like I forgot
I
how many attendees
remember.
they had.
I
Yeah,
remember.
it
Because
was
guess what?
28,000 something attendees.
Yeah, because
And when they
I
count attendees, it's how many tickets were sold. Like how many,
yes.
whether it's 3-day passes or a single day pass. How Otakuthon counts their like numbers is how many passes they've sold.
Okay.
And then last year in 2023, the number increased to like 34,000, which is a huge jump. That's like 6,000 more people. And
Oh
then this
yeah.
year was 36,200, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think it was
just
around there.
it's just so happened that it's also the fact that when the COVID era hit, yes, this is an era now. I felt like the Otakuton online didn't like they did whatever they could. Like I still enjoyed Tortuga, for example, and the other stuff that they had, but it did not hit quite like we did what we could, but it did not hit quite the same. But
Yeah.
because of the love of the event, we gotta want the real event back. It
I
felt
mean,
like we
yeah,
were
for sure. It's like school, right? It's so much, I mean, in my opinion, I find school is a lot better in person than online because you have that sense of community when you're at school. Obviously, I hate the education part. I mean, education, what is that anyways?
He's out of line, but he's right.
But having friends, yeah, having like playing sports with people and doing clubs and stuff, it's kind of the same thing where yes, you can have like, panels and stuff online, but having and meeting the community in person just makes it so much more interesting and fun.
Yeah, it
right.
feels like you aren't getting the true experience.
Well, that's what it was because we were getting half an experience.
Yeah.
That like for example, I enjoyed the otaku dance online, but I still want to be into the dance group throwing the inflatable phallus at people.
What? What the?
Yes, that's a tradition. Don't ask.
Oh, yeah, I think they've managed to ban that person this year. Finally.
Oh,
That is
wait,
Really?
it was
why would you bring a phallus-like object into a public space? No offense.
Why? 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 Why?
Just no.
I thought that was the tradition.
It was not a tradition. It was just a person who would bring it, even though people would tell that person to not bring it in.
Oh, okay. So it was never allowed in the first place.
No, it was never allowed in the first place. We have
Oh,
children within the
I was
attendance. Why would
I
that be
was
allowed?
I don't know because I've never seen him getting warned over it.
I know this period that person was warned at least, or
Yeah.
like escorted
Eh,
out, as far as I know.
He's either warned or banned out of the room. It's one or the other.
Mm.
Because at this point you recognize his face or whoever that is.
I've never interacted with this person personally.
I
I've
did.
only heard. Um,
I did.
and I just remember, like through the grapevine of people, like there was just a discussion of this person having an inflatable.
Phallic object. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just that I just thought it was tradition. Now that I'm like, I was
Yeah,
not
we
aware
have
of that.
children. There's a reason we have the chibi zone. So I don't see how that
It's
would be
not
very
It's at
appropriate.
night. What do you mean?
Even at night, there's a lot of kids who their parents will just leave them, and that's another thing. But yeah,
And I did not know that because in my experience in the otaku dance, I've never seen any children. So that's why
yeah, no.
this
But like, if it's in the room, I get it. But it's
it was in
still
the room.
technically not. But no,
It-
this person would also just walk around with it through
Well,
con.
yeah, it's
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
okay,
hard
no,
to
that's
hide it.
okay, no, now that's just tasteless.
Yeah, no. It's as
Now
far as
that's
I
just
know, someone was walking around through con with a phallic like
yeah,
object.
never mind.
A blow up
I
phallic like object.
because I only saw that person that night at the dance floor and only there. But now, if you're telling me, oh yeah, he's swinging around like a toy in the middle of the day, yeah, I have an issue with that.
Oof. Well, the more you know.
What happens at Otakuthon stays at Otakuthon.
Yeah.
Goddamn right.
Look, we have not started the sale of alcohol. Please,
And that will not happen.
thank you.
I mean, there's places in the Chinatown next to it that sell alcohol anyway. So if you really want to get drunk, then
Not while I'm enjoying Otakuthon. It's not the same thing.
exactly. Like, I don't know why you'd want to anyway, but
Exactly. Like I get drunk off watching After Dark.
I think one thing that's very important to mention, that we're talking about, like, this topic, is cosplay does not mean consent. Ever.
yeah.
Ever. Just because someone is wearing a cosplay, however it may look, it does not mean consent. And especially this con, I had more time to be in attendance than behind the scenes. And oh my god, people just don't.
People are very touchy
People are
feely,
so
handsy.
touchy,
People are,
and they take pictures without asking, and it's just, oh my god.
I take the time to ask because because I don't know about you, but they kind of like the ones that agree to take pics, they kind of take pride in their costume and they kind of do a cool pose. So it's always can I take a picture, because you don't, because what if they're just, let's say they were eating an ice cream. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, it's awkward. Like I've caught so many people taking pictures of me in my cosplay, and even if it's not like revealing or anything, I'm just like, why wouldn't you let me pose and look good?
Well, that's the point. Like sometimes I just position to take a picture, but I just wait until they pose or do anything.
Well, yeah,
And
exactly.
sometimes they don't, and like, okay, fine. I have to give up because they don't want it. Because it's, you don't want to take unflattering pics of the cosplays that you like, if that makes any sense.
I mean, yeah, and it's
No,
also kind of insulting to them because they put so much work into making it look good, and then you're not letting them present it as they would want to present it.
And and that's why for me it's like, it's also why when I take pics I limit myself, like either like in the exhibition area or at the shopping area, because
Mhm.
well, now at the shopping area I'm more wary because there's too many people and you can't post properly, right?
I mean, isn't the shopping area just called the exhibition hall, technically
Yeah,
speaking?
yeah, it
That's
is.
not what I meant by the exhibition hall, but yeah, I meant the
The second
outside.
floor. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, the exhibition hall for me, it's the second floor.
Yeah, which is the shopping
Yeah,
area. Yeah.
it's where
I
the
think
shopping area
he's-
is. It's not the shopping area itself.
I think he's talking about the VGA hall.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's the VG hall. Yes, it's the
Okay,
VG
the
hall.
DJ hall. I see.
Yeah, that's the exhibition area because that's where everyone takes pics.
That's true. A lot of people.
It's not,
Go on.
I didn't know that's what it meant.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's in the name, exhibition. Come on.
But that makes so much more sense because when I say exhibition hall, I mean like it's the second. I mean, I don't know. When I've spoken to people when we're discussing things and we're like exhibition hall, we mean the shop area and where the autograph space and
It's
all
not
that.
the shop. It's definitely not the shop area because
Okay.
because you're not putting on a show in the shopping area. Does that make sense?
No,
Yes,
you're
so?
When you're putting on an exhibition, it's usually where everybody, like in this case, it's
To ask
where
questions to
everybody's
certain people once we're done with recording.
and we're doing the cosplays, like like where there is where there's the passport building across the street, like outside being in the Chinatown area,
Yeah.
like between Palais du Congrès and the government building.
Mhm.
Technically that's not exactly the exhibition hall, but this is also where people just take pics. But I would
yeah.
call that, but I would call that a kind of an exhibition hall, but not quite the exhibition hall.
A lot of people
I
also just take like
just call it the garden at this point.
they'll take their pictures there too because it makes like more decent backgrounds and stuff.
Oh yes, it just blends in well. It's just so cool, and I'm like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
it blends in so well. It's just it brings a tear to my eye. I'm sorry.
It is very nice. It is a cool place to take pictures.
But that's what I mean by I limit myself to those places, because try to go to the game hall. It's not the best place. It's not the best time. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's like trying to take a pic of cosplaying of people eating at the cafeteria upstairs.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, some places are
The-
just not ideal.
Exactly, and it's also, leave them alone. They're busy. You know.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of like the experience I had at Otakuthon, it was generally pretty decent. Like every single year it's an absolute blast. Like I loved it so much. This year I actually got the opportunity to participate in an event, which was pretty cool. I got to participate in the fashion show. So that was fun. Yeah, it was the Harajuku Streets fashion show, because this edition of Otakuthon was also Harajuku Fest. So there were a lot of panels and workshops and events in general focused around like just Harajuku alternative fashion in general and like J fashion.
Ooh, J fashion.
So it was really fun, and I got to meet the designer for Hypercore, Hisashi.
Oh, good for you. And how was it?
It was good.
I hope it was fucking good, because it's useless now, isn't it?
He actually came straight from Japan, and like he had translators with him.
That's beautiful.
So
Yeah,
it was
he
really
was one of our guests this year.
Yeah, it was super
Yes.
fun. I mean, he was a really chill guy, actually. Like, he clearly had a vision and a way he wanted, like, the show and the outfits to go and everything, but he never came off as demanding or arrogant with it. So, that was really fun. And also, just the people I did it with were super cool, too. They were all, like, really just having fun with it, and a lot of them were like super supportive because this is pretty out of my ballpark. Like I hadn't done anything like this before, whereas a lot of them were experienced in modeling or even just like being on stage in general. So it was cool. It was really fun. I met a lot of interesting people and I added them all on social media. So I hope I actually get to like reconnect with them because they were
I
all
hope so
really
too.
amazing. Sorry?
I hope so too.
Yeah, they were all super amazing. And the outfits themselves were super cool too. Like I love Hisashi's stuff. I love what he brought. I love what he had designed for me and what he like set up. It was all super cool. I didn't go to any of the other Harajuku Fest events, but I did hear good things from the people who did go. So that was interesting.
That's fair.
I mean, even like when it's not Harajuku Fest, other fashion events and stuff do happen at Otakuthon like every year though. It's not like
Yes.
exclusively this year, so I just wanted to
Yeah,
make it clear.
it's just so happens that I usually do not pay attention to the fashion part because I'm always busy trying to. Because usually when I come to Otakuthon, I go to the voice actor Q&As most of the time. The voice actor panels,
Mhm.
because that's what I'm interested in. It's just my
Yeah.
thing. But and there were even times where sometimes I go into like some mini games, like the dangling grandpa mini games.
I've never heard of that.
I thought you were at the time where Danganronpa was popular, there were two other cosplayers, and I was dressed up as one of the characters as well.
Mhm.
I can't believe I forgot his name. What was his name? Anyway, the thing is that we were doing those court actions from Danganronpa 1 and 2.
Ah, it's actually kind of cool.
Oh yes, we were, and it was fun. It was, but obviously like it was all often when it was popular.
Mhm.
And eventually, as you know, it was not always,
Yeah.
it was popular, but it died down very quickly, right?
Mhm.
And that's just what it was, obviously. But at the very same time, it was fun while it lasted, because when you had a better version of Ace Attorney, or should I
Mhm.
say, it's like, I would say a darker version, not even a better version, a darker version. It had stakes, it had fun, but once I think that something happened, and it died out. Oh, and yes, I was Hagakure the entire time. Like, I think you saw me in my Hagakure costumes.
I might have. I don't really
Uh,
remember, but
I saw
it was yellow shirt with a green jacket with green shorts.
I mean, yeah, I remember what Hagakure looks like, but I don't know if I
It's
saw
it,
you in it.
it's also the fact that my favorite part is because I do look like Hagakure in the first place.
Oh, I
I
want to
don't need
interrupt
a
you.
wig.
I want to interrupt you, Tensa. I want to interrupt you.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Haha, I was correct. When we say exhibition hall, it is where the artist alley and dealers are. That is what we
Oh, I
mean by
see.
exhibition hall.
I see. I see. That's fair.
Don't
That's fair.
contradict me. Why would you confuse me like that? Why?
I knew you was lying. I knew you was lying, man.
Because that's not how I understand exhibition.
Well,
I'm
to be
sorry.
fair, it's
Exhibiting
like the
their goods.
artist. Yeah, the
Exhibiting
artist
their
exhibiting
goods.
their goods. Oh, jeez.
Anyways, I was right. You were wrong. Moving on. Rec, you
Hey,
have not
goodness.
spoken, dude.
I'm just enjoying the conversation.
Yeah,
What are you?
but like, do you have anything to add? You were there too. Like, did you cosplay? Did you see any cosplays that you really liked?
Oh, there were plenty of cosplays that I liked, and like most of us, there are cosplays that I wish to have, but I do not have said skill level to craft with my own bare hands.
Yeah.
However, I do agree about what you guys were talking about before about, like, especially consent. Like, I noticed that a lot, and it's becoming a little bit too much of a habit at these conventions for the last couple of years now, where people
Yeah.
outside the cons would just take a random photo and without any kind of like warning or any kind of like preparation. Like, it's just take the photo and go. So that's unfortunate.
Mhm.
I, on the other hand, had a bit of an interesting encounter. So for the Friday, I did an Inosuke cosplay.
Mhm.
Didn't expect this, but I had so many people looking in my general direction, more than I'm normally like comfortable about. And it feels weirder when you're on the metro ride home.
Yeah, that's fair.
To be fair, you decided to dress up as best boy. That's kind of on you.
Yeah, but even when
But
like,
I do understand that the overwhelming amount of attention does make things.
oh, that's the thing. I was
Yeah.
on the metro itself. This was the people coming.
Oh right, they're not at the exhibition. Oh my god, I see it now. I see it now.
I'm just going to the Burger King downstairs just to grab a drink, and people
Oh
just
no!
looking at me.
I
Yeah.
actually, I actually see it now.
Yeah.
I mean, to
No,
be fair, that kind of comes with the territory of being a cosplayer, though. Like, I
exactly. I think
can't
it's
tell you how
funny.
many times I've been on the metro or public transit and like been in cosplay and gotten like weird side eyes from people or had random people ask for a picture of me, even if they're
Look,
not like actually at the event. And I'm like, okay, like it's a
look.
bit uncomfortable, but
I took my passport picture in cosplay.
What?
Hush.
damn.
For me, it was also the following day because I was I dressed as Dracula Mihawk.
Hmm.
And I
Ooh.
dressed
Oh,
from
the
my
Swiss.
house to the con, so I had no changing clothes like for the afterwards, so I was basically the same. So
Yeah.
open shirt, blazed coat. I made my hair color black for just a day, and I had the fake mustache and all the just basically his whole getup.
Hmm.
Yep.
Did you get the plastic sword too?
Yep, plastic sword too.
Yay!
That's my boy.
Hilarious. I go down. This is also like it's Oshiaga weekend too. So like
Oh yeah.
Right, I remember this one. Okay, go on.
so I'm going down through the metro. And then when me and my friends we went to this restaurant to go eat, like I've just had so many people looking at me, and and I kind of wish this was high school me, because I just look around and I see so many like women like giving me the double take, and I'm like, geez,
Ooh,
want
the
this
the attention you wanted when you were a kid. You have it now.
very much
How do
so.
you feel?
Darn.
Handsome man, right here.
Well, I worked out prior, so I need to look good for the role.
I'm buff. Check out my pecs, little man.
You know it.
But yeah, it felt good, but at the same time, I felt self-conscious.
I get that.
But hey, I picked a good weekend for those cosplays specifically. It was a hot one this year.
Oh yeah, there was a heat wave going on.
Like,
I
holy
mean,
crap. I can
on the
only
topic of like, sorry?
I mean, imagine if I were like a lot of like the closed, because I have most of the cosplays I have are like very thick, layered.
Yeah.
So if I wore those instead of what I did, then holy crap, I would have been sweating buckets.
For sure.
You were saying?
I was just gonna say, like, I think the biggest issue with cosplay does not equal consent, though, is a lot of like creepy behavior that tends to go on. I luckily haven't experienced anything, but I've heard stories of a lot of like people, both guys and girls and everything in between, who have experienced like just
The weirdest stuff.
weird-
I've
Yeah.
seen it happen before.
Yeah, like even stuff that's just like
It's not okay.
satisfying.
It's just
Like,
not okay. I'm sorry.
yeah, there's even people who will like ask a cosplayer to do a certain thing that will satisfy like their niche fetish that you don't
Please
know
don't say
about.
it like. Please don't say it like that.
And it's like, even if it seems harmless, the fact that they're doing it for their own gratification makes it really creepy and makes it non-consensual.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, I know a lot of people.
It's also the fact that it does make the cosplayers very uncomfortable, and that's the.
Yeah. And the thing is, this year, I did have like one experience that I thought was just funny. And in retrospect, it's weird. Like, I'm not traumatized by it or anything. But I was cosplaying Madoka for one of the days. And I had one person who was like really into my cosplay, and he took like 11 pictures or something. And one of the pictures he asked me to do was one where I sat down and like fluffed out my skirt. And
Oh,
I
okay.
did it, not thinking anything of it. But then I found out after that that was like a fetish thing. And I was like, what the hell? I feel so violated.
Oh, that's nasty.
I mean,
Didn't take pictures.
I think that in retrospect, it might not necessarily mean something like that, because I do think that there will be people that has more of an. How can I say this?
Like there's
I would not assume automatically that it is creepy if there's nothing behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, I do understand that, let's be wary. And obviously, if it makes you pause and you're not comfortable with it, yeah. At this point, make sure to say that I can't do that. No, I'm not okay with it.
Well, yeah, of course. And it's like, it's just weird and it's unfortunate because like they ruin it for the rest of people too. Like a lot of people will just instantly want pictures of a cosplayer or with a cosplayer, and that's fine. But all these creeps and like their weird behavior, it makes it a really strange space for
It be-
cosplayers.
it becomes the reason why we cannot have nice things.
Yeah, exactly. It spoils it for everyone else essentially, and it really sucks.
Yeah.
And like I know my experience isn't even that bad comparatively. Like I heard of one time a guy cosplayed, I think it was Gray Fullbuster from Fairy Tale, and he had girls like grabbing his pecs and like his abs for pictures without his consent.
I actually saw that in real time.
Yeah. Like
That
I don't know, man.
like the thing is that I understand that that's kind of the joke of the character, but like give the guy some space and at least ask first. You don't know the guy.
Well, exactly. Ask and see if he's okay with it. And if he's not, then just
Leave
take
him
a
alone.
normal
Leave him alone.
picture.
Like leave him alone and just be respectful. It's not that hard.
Yeah, do something
Um,
you're comfortable with. There's a lot of poses you can do, you know?
but I remember the year of the Grateful Buster. The fact that you had to mention it.
Yeah, that was one situation, and it's just wild.
And the thing is that like obviously I don't know the person in real life, but like I would not be surprised if he stopped cosplaying at all because of it.
Well, yeah, exactly. And even if he didn't stop cosplaying and he just stopped cosplaying that one character, it's unfortunate because you should be allowed to cosplay whatever you want
Whoever
without.
you want without any fear of harassment.
Well, yeah, exactly, without any fear of harassment or putting yourself in danger of any kind.
It just sad.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. But T, I was actually curious because I'm not sure if you're allowed to disclose this information. If you're not, that's okay. But how do you guys usually deal with that as staff?
Deal with harassment?
Yeah, like if there's
Yeah,
any
deal with
harassment going on.
dealing with those unwanted incidents. How do you
So
guys treat those?
so we have a department called public safety, and there's different how do I say it? Like subdivisions. There's crowd control, there's first aid, incident response, etc.
All right.
The thing is, when they see it, they will try to intervene, but
Okay.
most of the time things happen where, like,
It's
again,
out of
there's so
control,
many
out of sight.
people. Like, there's so many people, and again, we're so little staff. Like, not that we're so little staff, but we're not
Oh,
professional,
you're not
right?
everywhere.
We don't have we're not everywhere. So if people
Yeah.
don't come forward and tell them what happened with, and just like there were people that came forward, they had pictures of whoever like the I guess the aggressor, but I don't want to say aggressor, but whoever
The perpetrator, I guess.
the perpetrator, yes, that's the word. The perpetrator was, there would be like physical descriptions and stuff, so they would be able to keep an eye out for them. But if people don't come forward and ask for help, then there's not really anything staff can do, because like we can't guess who is a perpetrator and who isn't.
Yeah, I get
It's
that.
real. So it's really more about helping the staff, helping them. Really, in this case,
Yeah,
by
exactly.
pretty
quote
much. I
unquote,
know like
by basically filing a report.
90% of the cases that were like, of the situations that were brought forward to staff were dealt with, and that's a pretty good number in my opinion.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
great.
very
Again,
good. It's very good.
if something happens and like an attendee will mention it on social media but not to a staff that is present on site, there's nothing that staff can do unless it is brought to them directly, immediately, as soon as possible. And they don't have to bring it up to someone who is doing like public safety or something. They can bring it up to anyone who's staff, and
Any
then
staff, I
we
would
can help
assume
them
that
out
any staff,
afterwards. Yeah.
because the way I understand it is, you bring it to any staff because you don't know who is public safety or not. So you bring it to any staff, and I assume that the staff is
They
kind of
would
like a
help you
web,
like kind of
a
bring it
net,
to the right person. Yeah.
because it's kind of like a network of people that help each other. That's kind of how I see it, like a
Yeah.
net.
Yeah. All right, so that's a good tidbit to know. If anybody is at Otakuthon and anything does happen, like worst case scenario, then now you know how they deal with it at Otakuthon, and they're very efficient with it. So you can keep that in mind if anyone plans on attending. I do think we should cut it there though, because it has gone on for a little while. Although honestly, I don't feel like we've even skimmed the surface. Like there's just so much to talk to when it comes to this topic and conventions in
Oh,
general.
it's because it's one thing talking about Otakuthon as if I'm excited to go to this event, but once you go there and more than once, you realize that there's too many subjects and not enough time to cover.
Exactly. And it's the same thing with this podcast. It's like there's just not enough time to talk about everything. For now though, I think we're gonna call it. And thanks so much for like giving us some insight, T. I'd never spoken to any of the staff before, so this was pretty cool. And thank you for giving your time and everything too, and making Otakuthon a viable event. And thanks for sharing everything else, Tensa and Rek. I was really interested in hearing you guys' experiences.
If I may say one more thing before.
Yeah.
As the old saying goes, once you attack, you can never go back.
You bet you're sweet.
Am I
That
supposed to
sounds like
understand?
something I would say.
All right. I mean,
know,
I think that's a fitting closing line, though. I don't know about you guys.
fair enough. To me, I agree.
I don't get it, but okay.
Honestly, I don't either, but hey, it's fine.
And with that, we are logging out for the night. Be sure to check out the official Otaku Crew at the following social media handles. We got Instagram, Think Otaku Crew, the TikTok channel, The Official Otaku Crew, the Twitch channel, The Official Otaku Crew, the Facebook page at The Official Otaku Crew, and the Discord squad. My name's Leifon, and we're all signing out for tonight. Peace out.